The Lost City of Petra, a journey through time whispers beneath the sand. The desert wind curled through the sandstone cliffs of southern Jordan, sighing like a voice from a forgotten age. The rose-colored walls of Petra stood quiet beneath the blistering sun, carved with precision into the cliffs by hands long vanished. But time, as Dr. Leila Nasir was about to discover, does not always move in one direction. Leila wiped a sheen of sweat from her brow and squinted at the strange object half buried in the sand before her. It was unlike any she'd seen: circular, metallic, etched with Nabataean script, and cool to the touch despite the midday heat. A whisper seemed to flutter past her ears as her fingers brushed against it. She stiffened. Nothing moved around her. The excavation site had gone eerily silent. She turned to call out to her assistant, Tariq, but her voice caught in her throat. The landscape shifted. The rock walls glowed brighter, not with sunlight, but with torchlight. The scent of frankincense and spice filled the air. Horses neighed in the distance. Then came the sound of sandals on stone, traders shouting in Aramaic, and the deep toll of a temple bell. Petra was alive. Leila gasped. She was no longer in the present, the city of stone and spirit. The bustling city was astonishing. Petra, once a forgotten ruin, now thrived with color and life. Merchants in brilliant robes led camels loaded with silk and myrrh. Women in embroidered tunics laughed by market stalls. Atop the cliffs, guards with bronze-tipped spears surveyed the valley. Leila stood at the center of it all, dressed suddenly not in her khaki field wear, but in flowing linen robes. Her hands still clutched the artifact, the only anchor to her original time. A young boy approached her. He couldn't have been more than 12. His eyes sparkled with mischief and wisdom far beyond his years. "You're not from here," he said in perfect, unaccented Arabic. "No," Leila whispered, "but I think I'm supposed to be." The boy grinned. "My name is Amir. Come, the high priest is waiting." "What priest? Why would he?" "You carry the Eye of Dushara," Amir said, pointing to the artifact. "It belongs to the Temple of Time. You were chosen." Leila had no idea what that meant, but she followed him through the winding passageways, past alabaster statues, mosaic courtyards, and canals carved into stone. The Nabataeans had mastered not just architecture, but water, trade, language, and perhaps something more mystical. They reached a high platform overlooking the city. At its center stood a man in crimson robes and gold chains, his face solemn, eyes like coals. "You've crossed the veil," he said without greeting. "Few ever do. Fewer still return." "I didn't choose to," Leila answered. "I just touched the eye," he interrupted. "A relic from the old gods. You're a vessel now. The past and future converge through you." Leila shook her head. "This has to be a dream, not a dream." "A path. You were born of this soil, were you not?" "My grandmother was Jordanian. Yes, the blood remembers." Shadows over Petra. Leila began to live among the Nabataeans. Days became weeks. She studied their language, customs, and culture not from books, but from the people themselves. She learned how they mapped the stars to guide trade, how they stored water in hidden cisterns, how their women held positions of influence, and how they spoke of time not as a line, but a circle. But something troubled her. Whispers of a threat from the north, an approaching Roman legion. The people were frightened. The Temple of Time grew quiet. The artifact pulsed with heat at her touch. In one secret meeting, Amir revealed more. "They want the eye," he said. "The Romans. They believe it holds power truths about time, even immortality." "Does it?" Leila asked. "I don't know, but it's tied to the city's fate." The high priest summoned Leila again. His face was graver now. "You must decide," he said. "You can return to your time and leave history to its ruin, or you can remain, help us hide the eye, and ensure the city's secrets stay buried until they are ready to be found again." Leila hesitated. The temptation to stay was strong. Here, she felt connected, seen. She had always searched for meaning in ancient stones. Now she was one of them. But she remembered her purpose. She was a historian, a truth seeker. And the world needed to know Petra not as myth, but as memory. "I'll return," she said softly. "But I won't forget." Part 4. Back to dust and light. The moment she made her choice, the winds howled through the cliffs. The eye flared white in her palm. When Leila opened her eyes again, she was on the desert floor, the excavation site buzzing around her. "Dr. Nasir, are you okay?" Tariq rushed to her side. Leila blinked. Her robes were gone. She was back in her dusty field clothes. But clutched in her hand was the same artifact, now glowing faintly. She stood up, unsteady, but clear. "We need to dig here," she said. "There's something beneath this layer, something important." Tariq looked confused, but trusted her. "All right. I'll bring the team." Over the next few weeks, they uncovered something astonishing, a hidden chamber beneath the Temple of Dushara, never before documented. Inside, murals told of a traveler between worlds. A woman in white robes, a boy with a star-shaped scar. Leila wept when she saw them. She wasn't crazy, it had happened. The legacy years passed. Leila became a renowned figure in Middle Eastern archaeology. Her papers spoke of new insights into Nabataean cosmology, their concept of time, their spiritual philosophy. But she never spoke of the time slip. It was too unbelievable, even for her. Yet, one artifact stayed locked in her drawer, the Eye of Dushara. It no longer glowed, but sometimes, late at night, it felt warm. One winter, Leila returned to Petra, standing before the great facade of Al-Qaza the treasury. Tourists bustled past, cameras clicking, guides shouting in several languages. But she stood still, staring at the cliff. She thought she saw a flicker, a boy, no older than 12, smiling through the shadows. "Amir," she whispered. And just for a moment, the wind seemed to whisper back. Epilogue. Time's memory historians would later debate the true depth of Nabataean knowledge. Some would speculate that Petra held a deeper significance as a portal between past and future, a city carved not only in stone, but in time. But only one woman knew the truth, and she would keep its secrets until the world was ready to listen.